Hey sister girl, hey sister girl, hey sister girl, hey sister girl, hey family. Hey sister girl, hey family. Hey. What's up y'all? It's your girl Anadia Spirit, the cosmic superstar. So basically we are here today for, another motherfucking story time up in this bitch one day period. And this story time is going to be cause last video and previous videos and previous story time I've been speaking about romantic relationships and the toxicity of that nature, what happened in them aspects or whatever. But now we're going to be talking about best friends and shit that comes with that, whatever. And before I even get to the motherfucking shit, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to y'all family. I need to talk to you, sister girl. Okay, sister girl. I got a question for y'all. Why aren't y'all subscribed to my channel? And why aren't y'all liking my videos? I mean, Like, I get like y'all, these new people that's coming on in, welcome. I'm grateful for, everybody watching. But y'all hard-headed. I ask y'all every video, if y'all are interested, go on ahead, like this video, subscribe to my channel, whatever. But it's just like, I'm watching y'all. So, before I even start, can y'all make sure that you subscribe and that you like this video, especially if y'all want to hear more of my content. This time the third with a bag of chips on the motherfucking side, but, I'm going to give y'all, 0.5 seconds, because it don't take that long, if it's all if you're interested. If you're returning, you already know family, you are good in the hood. But if you are new here, whatever, and you've been, snooping on all my videos, whatever, you might as well go ahead and subscribe to my motherfucking channel and like this damn motherfucking video. Come on now. But I'll wait. Okay, you should be all good then. So, So, other than that or whatever, we're going to be talking about my whole experience. I'm talking about this is actually dealing with a Jobcorps best friend relationship. If it's like disclaimer. I gotta go with a big disclaimer before I even get into all this shit, because this shit right here is deep as fuck. It's layers upon fucking layers. But who I am talking about is basically if y'all have watched my first, not even my first, but my second story time I exposed the DL do in front of everybody. This is pertaining to Carly, actually my best friend in that video. If you haven't seen that, I'm gonna need for y'all to go ahead and watch that. I'm not gonna really explain the whole damn motherfucking story time because 2 parts or whatever, but the fast forward, to give a little fast summary, she basically helped me throughout that whole situations or whatever, and it's like our relationship grew deeper, beyond the obstacles of what was going on at that part of that whole story time. But I said in the later parts that she did graduate from Jobcorps, this time and third, and she moved to advanced training. And this advanced training, to give a little brief synopsis, it's basically like a transportation trade, airlines, the bus, Amtrak, bus, railroad assistance, everything that comes with transportation type shit. So it's just basically it was located in St. Louis, but I'm not gonna say too much with that motherfucking shit. So basically she did move down there, and then we did have a long distance communication, I was checking in on her and we was calling back and forth or whatever. But before I even motherfucker continue about the rest I'm about to say, this pertaining to this is actually one of my actual closest. I'm talking about, we had years of experience, and this video is it's not to bash her, because I wish her the absolute best in her life. It's all love at the end of the motherfucking day, but it's this is my life story, and I have to speak about my experiences being in situations and relationships like this, so I can let people know just all the motherfucking tea, when it comes to this motherfucking shit, especially with the red flags. You know how I always motherfucking do. And it's just all accountability, and it's just it's parts with this shit. I have to really do different parts with this motherfucking story time because it's very advanced of, you know what I'm saying, everything that we motherfucking been through. So it's just I gotta go from Ruta to the motherfucking Suda of like basically me. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me continue because child, I'm speaking about food, but basically, you know what I'm saying, we was communicating. She did let me know about the advanced training or whatever, and she did say it was really cool. And then we made a promise that when she graduated and she go, then I'm gonna go when I graduate from this Jobcorps that we was all in or whatever. So basically, we was chit chatting, having a little small talk, or whatever, and then she did tell me that this advanced training did have apartment living type of dorms. It was kind of like a different type of motherfucking dorm. It wasn't your usual actual like regular typical Jobcorps dorms where you just had 4 to a room or whatever. Like this time you had a room, but you had another roommate. And it's just like you had a kitchen, you know what I'm saying, you had an oven, a refrigerator, and you had a living room. It's like a very, she explained it to me, it's a very beautiful setup or whatever. So basically she was saying that she was telling me that she missed me a lot, and you know what I'm saying, I'm giving her all the extra tea that's going on in Jobcorps story time within itself. And then basically we was just like really, you know what I'm saying, catching up, you know what I'm saying, just it was all a vibe. Even through long distance, it was still a motherfucking vibe or whatever. So I'm gonna give a little backstory of basically before she even moved to advanced training, before I even like go to the next stage. So basically, we was cool to the point like when we was still in the same Jobcorps, we was bonding really like I'm talking about tremendously a lot or whatever. And it's just like it's an extra story time, I guess, because this Jobcorps that I was in before I even continued with advanced training, this was a big ass story time, like a movie type motherfucking shit. But I peeped certain things from Carly that basically it was just like a little soft little mini stuff that I basically, you know what I'm saying, paid it or whatever. And basically it was like one time where it was like if other people, you know what I'm saying, hugged me or whatever, or you know what I'm saying, get my attention or whatever, it was like basically this girl was hugging me. And then out of nowhere, Carly just separated us out of nowhere as in the midst of us hugging. And it was cute. I ain't gonna lie, like, you know what I'm saying, I really paid it because it was actually, it wasn't like something like obvious to our attention. It was because we laughed, me and the girl laughed. I forgot who the girl was, but it was really funny, but she wasn't smiling, she wasn't really laughing. And I should have took that as a red flag, but it was kind of like it was so innocent that you really couldn't tell or whatever. But when it was just that's the only time that I peeped from kind of like, okay, like even I get it, like a lot of people, it's work that needs to be done with everybody. Everybody's work in progress. I'm a work in progress. So it was just like, okay, whatever, like I paid it. We didn't trauma bond like that damn deep. I'm happy we didn't at first, but she did say little snippets that she was mistreated by her family a lot, like black sheep again type motherfucking shit. And we was over here like really conversing, really sharing our experiences of little experiences of what we've been through or whatever. So it was kind of like, you know what I'm saying, but other than that, like we would just talk about everything. I'm talking about every little single motherfucking thing. Like every time we motherfucking link up, it was always the vibe. It was always lit or whatever. So fast forward from our conversations over the phone or whatever, it was just coming around this time where I finally graduated from my trade, my pharmacy trade, and you know I was saying now I'm in the midst of applying for advanced training. So basically, I was going through the process, and then basically the instructor that was ahead of the people that either want to, you know, graduate or just hold on to their trade that they have now, or they want to go to advanced training. I was in her office of a lot. She's not really relevant in the story, but basically she was assisting me into moving to this particular advanced training or whatever. And it wasn't even just me. It was 2 other people that I knew that I was really close with. Not really close with, like bonding like Harley, but we knew of each other. It was always a vibe every time we was always around, whatever. I might give them a name. I'm not sure, but basically we gotta prove me into. I'm gonna give them name. Okay, so basically the guy we gonna call him Greg. And the girl we gonna call her Bella. Okay, Greg and Bella. So basically Greg and Bella basically got approved as well, and then basically we just held on being just in that office or whatever. Like, we didn't really have to go to class, or we didn't have to really do much, but just sit there and look cute for the rest of that period, you know what I'm saying, with that school period. And then by the time that bell ring, when it's time to go back to the dorms, school over, you already know, like, we doing our own thing, whatever. So to fast forward, I did tell Carly that I was officially approved, that I'm moving down there at a particular day. It was like around August, because I graduated everything around like June or July, with the ceremony, stuff like that. And now it was official that basically we can go in August officially to advanced training in St. Louis. So now Carly did tell me that she was talking with somebody that basically she had a good experience in advanced training. So it's really beefing me up, like, oh my God, I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to link with my best friend down here. I know somebody, like, even though this is like a new state that I'm going, it's a new territory I'm going in, but I'm going with familiar faces or whatever. In another note, it wasn't even just Carly that came to advanced training. It was actually another girl, Ebony, and you gotta go back to the story exposed, the motherfucker DM motherfucker, because she played a little small part 2 into the motherfucking story time, but she did come with Carly to advanced training as well. So it's actually 2 people that I knew officially going down there. So, and then knowing Greg and Bella, so it was just like, okay, like, I'm gonna be okay with this. It's not gonna be foreign at this moment. It's gonna be foreign, but not bad type shit. So basically, fast forward, we said our goodbyes. I'm fast forward all this motherfucking shit. Basically, we said our goodbyes to all, our students, the people that was cool with, my friends, all our friends, family, or whatever, call it, because I call my mom and stuff like that, let her know, because they basically assist us with. We had to take a train to St. Louis. It was the Amtrak. So basically, we took the train, and it was just the 3 of us. And then basically, fast forward or whatever, it was like a 5-hour trip or whatever. So basically, we made it 5 hours later. We go to the Amtrak station or whatever, and that's where the teacher, one of the head teachers of the advanced training, and it was like 4 or 3 other students, and Ebony was one of the motherfucking students. So basically, because Greg and Bella knows Ebony, we all know each other. Everybody's mutual. Everybody knows Carly. Everybody knows Ebony. Everybody knows everybody. So basically, we was happy to see Ebony. We met the other 2 ladies, 2 girls, and basically, I don't want to give them name because they're irrelevant. But basically, we was the head teacher. We're gonna call him Mr. C. Okay, Mr. C. Basically, he ran the whole advanced training or whatever, and basically, if you want to talk to him about anything other than the other instructors, then you basically can come to him and, speak what needs to be said to him. So basically, fast forward, he was just assisting us. Basically, he actually drove them to the thing. He drove us to the center or whatever, and I'm gonna have to fast forward all this motherfuckers. Child, I'm speaking so many details, and I want to just get to meat and motherfucking potatoes when I came across Carly. Cause child, okay, so basically, fast forward, press that fast forward button. We're there. We're at the motherfucking center. It's new. It's way motherfucking. It's a whole nother motherfucking ball game than the previous Jobcorps I was in. We in St. Louis or whatever. We in the hood area. And basically, city was beautiful, but I'm gonna get to later parts with the rest of the areas of St. Louis that we was in. So we finally got our baggage and stuff like that, and basically, me and Greg, we went to the boys' dorm, and then they assist Bella or whatever to the girls' dorm. So basically, it was like 3 dorms, and 2 of the dorms was all boys, and then one of the dorms was all girls. It was kind of like a 2-floor type of shit. It was a lot of people. So basically, me and Greg, we go to the boys' dorm. Basically, they had to go through the process. The RA, not really relevant, but basically he was letting us know basically what room that we're gonna be in or whatever, and this and the third. So I'm over here expecting, since Carly said that, all advanced training students automatically get a apartment type of dorm or whatever, a special type of dorm, which is at the end of the, because it's basically like the same dorms like previous, but at the end of the all the motherfucking dorms, at the straight end, it's 2 rooms that are apartments, and basically all advanced training students took over those motherfucking 2 rooms or whatever, like 4 to a room. It's like each separate room up in that area of that apartment, you get that one roommate isolated wise, if I'm making sense or whatever.
What I was meaning to say is basically when I was speaking about the dorms, I kept meaning the rooms in the dorm. It's like a left wing, it's a right wing, and then on the right wing, that's where the advanced training people usually always be at. And then at the end of that wing, so it's that 2 rooms. When I meant 4 to a room, I meant basically it is 4 to a room, but in the room is 2 separate rooms within that same apartment room that you could have one roommate per room, basically within that whole apartment room area. It's like you basically have one isolated roommate, but you're sharing with 2 other people that's sharing another separate room, and then basically y'all share the whole living room and the whole space or whatever. And I hope I make sense, but you know what I'm saying, since the rest of those 2 rooms was occupied by already 4 advanced training students, it was the extra advanced training students took over the regular, like 4 to a room. It wasn't no separate, it was all together regular rooms that was actually by the apartment rooms, basically at the end of the wing of the dorm, of the right wing.
So basically, I'm over here geeked, and then me and Greg actually knew about the apartment dorms too. So we all were thinking like, okay, we gonna get these dorms or whatever. I cannot wait or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I was over being in a 4 roommate dorm with full of motherfucking niggas. Story time within itself. Like, I didn't even fuck with a lot of my motherfucking roommates. So it was cool as fuck. But the rest of these motherfucking roommates, child, I want they motherfucking head. Child, separate from that shit. But basically, the RA was getting our rooms ready and prepared or whatever. And then next thing you motherfucking know, they gave us the room number. But by the time he was escorting us to this room, it wasn't the apartment area. This was actually one of just the regular ass dorm rooms. Because, come to find out, them dorms was fucking occupied with the rest of those advanced training students. So basically, Carly, it's like Carly, I'm not gonna blame Carly on this, but because she only knows so motherfucking much. She don't know about the boys' room, whatever, but it's just like, I'm over here expecting something and I let in full disappointment, and come to find out, they put me in this motherfucking same motherfucking 4 goddamn motherfucking bed and just like 3 other motherfucking roommates. And basically it's no privacy. And I'm like, fuck, why did I come here? Like, I was expecting an apartment. What the fuck is this? It's like to the point I was actually waiting to get my privacy and to get an apartment living. I'm over here with the same motherfucking shit that I left from. And I'm just like, oh my God. And what made it worse is, no shade or whatever, but 2 of my roommates one of them was white and one of them was Mexican. And I was like, oh my fucking God. And I don't got no problem with it, but it's just like, oh my fucking God. Oh my God. Like, no. But my other roommate, he wasn't even in the motherfucking room or whatever, but I'm gonna give him some later. So I'm over here like, just irritated that I'm over here having to be in this little punk ass, little bitch ass motherfucking 4 roommate area. And I'm just like, oh my fucking God. So I dropped, you know what I'm saying, I put put myself in my little door or whatever. They gave me the keys or whatever. And I guess me and Greg, we went, because it was after school, and we went out. And mind you, it's like a campus type of layout of how everything is situated. It's very different from how the original Jobcorps was set out was or whatever. And basically, I really feel like it looked way better than the regular Jobcorps I was at. I ain't gonna lie. But basically, we left out. And I guess we was about to go to the cafeteria or whatever. We going to the cafeteria, we walking through. And I see a familiar face as we were emerging. And it's like to the point, we about to cross paths, and this girl was just like standing, and she froze, and she looking right directly at me and Greg. So I'm over here squinting. I'm like, hold on. Is that Carly? And basically, I was happy to see her. I was actually I actually screamed her name. I'm like, yes, okay, yes, like period, point blank period. But she didn't come with that same energy. Like, it was like to the point she was like, I could tell she had something going on, and then basically, it was kind of like her mind was thrown off about something else, and she was happy to see me, but it was just like her mind was directly on something else. And basically, she was like, hey, it wasn't no shade with that, but it was just like, it wasn't matching with my energy or whatever. So I paid it, and we said hey or whatever, and you know what I'm saying, she said hey to Greg or whatever, and we went to the cafeteria, we kiki whatever, and basically, I was telling her about the dorm situation and stuff like that, and she was just like, oh wow, like oh my god, like I didn't know that they did that to y'all or whatever. And basically, come to find out that Carly had a boyfriend, and I didn't know she had a boyfriend. She did tell me she was talking with somebody, but she didn't tell me that she had a boyfriend or whatever. So I guess the boyfriend came by us when we sat down, got our food or whatever, and she introduced me to him or whatever. But he irrelevant. But basically, I'm just call him her boo or Carly boo or whatever. So basically, Carly boo. I mean, he wasn't bad looking, whatever. But I just started to peep that they was going through situations, not so good situations, things going on, whatever. On a side note, whatever. But other than Carly's boo or whatever, we did catch up, and you know what I'm saying, we was kikiing for the rest of that day. But she did give me like more insight that this Jobcorps actually allow their students to go on a lot of fucking trips. When I tell you a lot of trips, I ain't just talking about little petty ass fucking like bowling and stuff like that. I'm talking about they went to Six Flags. These motherfuckers went to Six Flags. These motherfuckers, I'm talking about. This Jobcorps was so laid back at this time, so cool. They took them to the park downtown, to the strip, the St. Louis motherfucking strip. I'm just talking about like everywhere to get ice cream. I'm just talking about every fucking where in they mamas they took them. To the motherfucking movies. And mind you, Joliet, they took you on, it was like the most pettiest shit. It wasn't even like trip, it was like bowling and movies. But this Jobcorps took you everywhere. It was kind of like very like free, and it's like they allow you to roam everywhere, and then at the time where it's time to leave, then everybody got to meet at a specific location at a certain time. So basically, me and Carly, we signed up for a lot of trips or whatever, because it was at a specific amount that certain people can come and join whatever. So it was like me and Greg and Bella, we did go on certain trips or whatever in the beginning or whatever. And basically, aside, I'm gonna get some trips later, but I gotta talk about the school. So basically, the advanced training, they had a separate building. It was not in the same area as, because it was kind of like the advanced training students was mixed in with the just regular Jobcorps students. And the regular students that on campus, the advanced trainings, we had to take a bus to go to. They took us downtown. It was a building where all of us reside, and then that's what basically we had our studies in, and basically everything on the motherfucker store that comes with that shit. But the rest of the students that was on the campus, that was regular Jobcorps students, it was only pharmacy technician that had to come with us too, because their trade was downstairs. We was always upstairs or whatever, and then our lunch was in the basement or whatever. very much a brief synopsis or whatever. So basically, we're going to the classes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They start with us with a brief introduction or whatever, and different type of studies. And it was like many different teachers other than Mr. C. It was the math and reading teacher. We gonna call her Miss S. Okay, because it's so many people, it's so many motherfucking names. So y'all bear with me on this shit right now. It was Miss S. I feel like her room was the common room everybody resided in. You know those one rooms that everybody just be up in? That was her. That was like the headquarters. I'm screaming. But Miss S, she ran the math and reading. The two other instructors, there was a couple. We gonna call them Mr. and Mrs. W. Mr. and Mrs. W, they was white. Miss S was black. Mr. C was white. And basically the couple, they ran over, they took over transportation classes. And basically the other room, which was keyboarding, it was the male instructor. He was an older guy, white, and basically we gonna call him Mr. Z. So we got Mr. Z, Mr. and Mrs. W, and we got Mr. S and Mr. C. Some motherfucking names, but a lot of them not gonna be relevant in this motherfucking story time. So basically, we was always in Mrs. S class, and basically, I was not feeling none of the motherfucking shit. They gave me a little punk ass room. I feel like it was a catfish. I feel like it was a clickbait. It was so beefed up. I feel like Carly beefed it up more than what it actually was. But what really saved me from really not leaving was the trips. The trips was really a deal breaker. Like, that really transmuted into something like, oh my God, like, this is dope, because they really took us everywhere, and we was able to go to a lot of places, whatever. And story time within itself, I'm not going to get too deep to that motherfucking shit, but me and Carly was vibing, like, going to these motherfucking trips or whatever. And fast forward other these motherfucking trips, now we about to get into meat potatoes of our relationship or whatever. Long and behold, I know I said mouthful y'all with that shit, but I gotta give y'all a lot of these details so y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about, because it's gonna be a very long ass story time, different parts. So basically, me and Carly was always with each other. We was very inseparable. Like, no matter class, no matter after school. Like, after school, we automatically go in our rooms, change our, because we gotta wear uniforms or whatever. We switch out on our uniforms with our motherfucking regular clothes, and we go out and we catch a vibe. Like, they had a recreational area, but the rec, it was kind of like you had this cafeteria, the dorms, and the rec, everything was in this motherfucking rec. It was not separate. It was all together. When you walk in, they had a actual, sitting lounge. And then on the right, as you like walk through, they had like a little TV video game where everybody hook up their video games and used to play the games. And they had Wi-Fi. You already know, we already posted up in this motherfucking shit with free fucking Wi-Fi, like point blank period. Because the previous Jobcorps did not have Wi-Fi. You're gonna have to really much survive off of mobile data if you're lucky enough to have a motherfucking phone or whatever. So basically, they had in the lounge area, they actually had it was like a little snack area where you can pay for snacks, you can pay for actual food. They'll cook food for you, like little type of motherfucking food. If you're not feeling the cafeteria food, it was more so advanced more than the previous Jobcorps. I'm gonna just say that it was a different motherfucking vibe. The people was cool. You got your cool people, you got your not so cool people, but for the most part, everybody is cool. Like the regular students, the advanced trading students, everybody is more so okay, neutral. And then basically, as you go through, they have your little 2 gyms or whatever. You got your computer lab. It's like 2 points separate, but as you go forward, it's that big ass gym. So basically, me and Carly always being in the lounge area by the snack bar or whatever. And basically, we used to kiki, and basically we just like, you know what I'm saying, do us or whatever. So now we are now getting to know each other deeply, because we got to know a certain part of us. I feel like we introduced the good aspects of us in the beginning, whatever. Now I'm seeing Carly's many aspects, and she's seeing my many aspects as well, or whatever. I mean, we was cool in the beginning, like to the point, like it was the same bond like previous, but now it's just like I'm starting to peep certain things about her that I didn't peep in the previous times or whatever. I was starting to peep that basically she was territorial, but it started off as soft and cute, but now it was starting to later become a big issue. Like, I'm gonna give you like little brief examples of what she used to do or whatever. So it's just like, it was okay for her to be around people, and she was actually giving me the gyps and the, you know what I'm saying, the vibes of other people and how they get down or whatever. And basically she was just giving me like, you know, say these people are cool, these people are not cool, whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's what's up, whatever. Thank you for giving me the heads up. But it just seemed like when somebody is trying to converse with me or whatever, she always used to do some type of weird shit to like shoot them off or whatever. And basically that it was happening like a little bit frequent. Like she used to, it's like her vibe changed every time I'm talking with somebody else. But it was okay for her to talk to other people. That should make the fuck sense. I'm just like, it was actually really small. It started off as small and it starts to get worse. Cause mind you, it was like I'm starting to peep these red flags early, and I'm gonna get into other motherfucking situations too. But it was just like a lot of shit that was going on with the whole Jobcorps I'm talking about. It was just like events after events. It was like we went to other people's graduations, and child, mind you, it was like Thanksgiving, it was Christmas, and it was a lot of things that was happening. And mind you, like they even did this thing where they allowed students to work off campus or whatever. And basically I was lucky enough to, you know what I'm saying, be in that opportunity, whatever. And it was a Walmart they drove us to, and they allowed a lot of us to get hired and work there and get some side money on the side. So I was really like grateful for that whole experience. But the Walmart is a story time within itself. I'm not gonna get deep into that motherfucking shit, but I later had to quit because it was on some monkey business. So basically, before all this motherfucking shit, especially with her being territorial, I'm talking, we had adult conversations, but I just remember, I recall, because it's like a lot of shit that I have to bear with me, y'all, because it was a lot of events taking place. It was a lot of shit going on. But I remember Carly used to sometimes stay on campus, especially during advanced training hours or whatever. And she used to go in her certain area, her certain spot with a particular instructor she was really cool with or whatever. So it was one time she stayed behind, and then basically they was taking us to Walmart, and basically I crossed paths with her before I was about to go or whatever. And she knew I got hired and everything. She knew about the process and everything. And she was happy for me, but on the day of I was about to go, I'm like, hey, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to go, like, give me a hug, whatever. When I tell you, she gave me the most ugliest energy. Like, she gave me a stank face, and basically, it's like she did this, like, type of cold, type of vibe, type of shit. Like, she kind of, like, had an attitude. And I'm like, girl, that was kind of like a big dead giveaway. But I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, where are you coming from with this energy? Like, you should be happy for me that I'm getting a job, I'm getting my coin. I would be happy for her if she got a job or whatever, got her coin, that or whatever. And it's like to the point, it was that territorialness. What added with that territorialness was the clinginess, because my age, we was always together or whatever. And this time, we're not going to be together like that. And that's what made her, drove her to have that attitude. And I didn't peep it at first, but I'm just like, I really kept my distance away from her. And then I was working, so I wasn't able to, you know what I'm saying, be around her like that or whatever. But later on, you know what I'm saying, we did later come around or whatever. Because during my days off, I had to go to school or whatever, and then that's where we linked up. It was kind of like water under the bridge, because it was just like, it wasn't that deep to me, and then I'm working, so it's like working really took my mind off of that bullshit or whatever, and then we went back being cool or whatever. And I eventually had to quit, like I said, from Walmart, but you know what I'm saying, Carly did come through at one time, where actually they left me stranded at there. It was like 11, like 12 o'clock, I'm talking about a.m., that these motherfuckers left me. It's like they have a big ass bus, and they escort everybody that's working at that shift in that bus, and they take us back to on campus. These motherfuckers left me in the middle of nowhere. Mind you, it's a 30-minute drive. So basically, I told Carly, and then she basically sent an email, got them together, got all the instructors together. And I was actually happy she did that shit. She actually came through with that shit. So basically, I'm starting to peep. Other than that, it's cool, whatever. But now I'm starting to see it's unbalanced. Like, it was kind of like, it was okay for her to do things, but if I did the same thing she did, now she has an attitude. But it started off as small. Like I'm keep saying, it always starts off as small, but work its way up to become something bigger. And when it got bigger, it was just like, okay, like now we got an issue, we got a problem, whatever. But my communication wasn't good, so I didn't like confrontation. So I kind of like, you know what I'm saying, threw it under the rug and basically just continue just like, you know what I'm saying, just going with the flow or whatever. But it was just kind of like, she was always being clingy, and basically it was kind of getting to a point like we had dope conversations, but now we're trauma bonding so deep, and now we're starting to unfold, getting to know each other more deeply, whatever. And it was a lot of times where she used to vent to me so much to the motherfucking point at the end of it, she expected me to respond to everything. Like, it's kind of like she was trying to use me as a therapist. And it's like to the point, it has to be a boundary put with this motherfucking shit. Like, it's valid. It's, you know, it's okay to vent, but you have to be respectful of other people's energy and all this motherfucking shit when it comes to that shit. And it's kind of like she always she kind of consistently did it. It's one thing if it's a one-time thing, a rare thing, but you kept consistently motherfucking doing this shit. You expect me to always give you some type of solution. I'm over here processing my motherfucking shit. I barely was healing at that motherfucking time. So you try to throw your baggage onto my shit. I already got my baggage to motherfucking deal with. What the fuck you expect me to motherfucking say? My communication skills is not good at this motherfucking point. But it's kind of like she always catch an attitude when I just didn't really have the words to say anything. Because it was like when I was venting to her, not as much, but sometimes I was venting, she did find ways to, you know what I'm saying, give me words of advice or whatever. But I did sometimes give her, don't get me wrong, like I always give her advice or whatever, but it be certain things like, it's like I don't know what to say right now. Like she was expecting me, and then when it's like to the point when I didn't fulfill her expectations, she always get disappointed, and she always catch an attitude, and I'm just like, oh my god, like this is some red flag ass shit. It's some red flag ass shit. And mind you, we always together. Like we always are motherfucking together. Like during school, during after school, which is another red flag because you need to have your boundaries put up. Like you need to have your own motherfucking lives. I don't know what you expect me to say at this motherfucking time where I'm going through my own shit or whatever. And I'm trying to find ways to give you advice, but I have to process what you're saying to me, and I have to think before I say anything or whatever to give the right advice. And I remember she told me, like, I said something. I forgot what the fuck I said because this happened years ago, y'all. And she said, "With your pathetic ass advice." And I'm over here looking like, I didn't say nothing. I kind of paid it, but I'm like, child, I'm not getting paid to be your therapist. I'm your friend. It should be a line drawn. And I'm just like, the advice you are giving me when I'm visiting, it don't even be the best motherfucking advice. No motherfucking shade. So it's just like, you really tried it with that motherfucking shit. And I'm need for you to pipe the fuck down, keep it motherfucking cute or whatever. But I didn't say much because, again, my communication skills is not up to par at this motherfucking time. So I paid it. But it was kind of like, for the most part, like, it seemed like a lot of my relationships, for the most part, not all of them, but it's like certain ones. Other than that, we can have a good time with each other. We can vibe at everything. Like, we vibe. But it just be certain times where we be having arguments, and it starts to become more of an issue later throughout the motherfucking line. With a lot of things that was going on, whatever. Like, for example, like, it's like she always was clingy to the point where she used to call me this is another issue that I had, a big issue I had of her. I know she's gonna be watching whatever, but you know what I'm saying? It's all love when I'm speaking, but I'm gonna have to hold you accountable for everything that you did, because a lot of things that you was doing was straight out just, I'm keeping up with you, Carly. It was weird. It was very weird. And it's just like, not to bash or anything, but I'm gonna have to keep it a full, transparent, a bug, like point blank, period. She used to call me, like, cause it was like the calling was so bizarre to the point. She'll call me one time. If I miss it, okay, I missed it, whatever. I'm gonna get back to you. She used to call me like back to back to back to back. Like it was so bad to the point. She used to call me 14 times. I remember I got to my phone. It was 14 fucking missed calls. I'm already thinking it's a motherfucking emergency. So I called her. It was nothing. It was nothing. It was really nothing. And I'm like, are you okay? But backstory on Carly a little bit, not to get much in her business, but she was sheltered. Y'all have to understand. She was sheltered growing up. When I tell you she was sheltered, she was sheltered. Like, she was homeschooled type of shelter, to the point she was always at home. So her mindset is going to be, it's going to go about a certain type of motherfucking way compared to other people that have been going outside and that had went to public school or whatever. So it was just like the way she handled a lot of situations. I kind of look at it as like it was she had a unique way of handling things. She had a unique way of responding to things and doing things. So it was just like when she did a lot of these things, I actually got it because I was at a point I was sheltered. So I get from a sheltered point of view what was going on with this. So it was just like she was clingy. Actually, it was like overly clingy to the point it was starting to become like it was starting to become bizarre. And I didn't confront her too much about it, but I'm like, okay, why are you calling me consistently? It was so bad. It was like every day with this shit.
It's so crazy that I just want to add this too. When I confronted a lot of things that she was doing about this, she just did not look at this shit as no big deal. It was just like, okay, and that was just basically the energy she was giving me. And what she was saying too, I'm like, girl, you out your fucking mind, child. You a nut. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, really looking back, I'm like, child, it was something, she had some screws missing. I ain't gonna lie, like, no shade, she had some screws missing. But this was my first, you know what I'm saying, friendship. So, you know what I'm saying, it was just at that time, it was just at that era, and it was like, it was too much going on, child.
Mind you, we always be together. And just like once we go, like every fucking time that we leave our, you know, say class or whatever, we return back on campus, it'd be a lot of times I want to stay in my room. I don't want to go back out. Like I was just like, I want my me time or whatever. And it was just like, it was one time, and mind you, I'm trying to get with the timeline, but I have to really tell you certain things for things to make sense or whatever. So it was one time where I called her and she actually wanted me to come out. I'm like, no, I don't want to come out because of the simple motherfucking fact that I want me time. I want me, and then she found it so much of a motherfucking issue and she hung up. I didn't give a fuck because I actually had a good motherfucking time being in my own fucking energy for once. So it was just like here motherfucking there. It was actually so bad to the point she used to consistently call me back to back, and actually showed up in my dorm. So asked one of my RAs, can they get me out the motherfucking room? And I'm like, now you starting to become a little bit borderline obsessive. It's getting to a point like you starting to become weird. Like I'm starting to peep like she did a lot of weird shit, and it's like it's no judgment, but I'm gonna have to call it out as I see it. It's my experience, my life experience. And it's just like, okay, like I didn't think it so deeply at that time, because mind you, like I'm young. It's It's my first time actually having a relationship, a very consistent relationship like this.
It was one thing that I forgot to add in this video about Carly. One of the most biggest things that basically used to irk the fuck out of me about her is when we're having conversations, because she that type, she like to observe the room. And a lot of times when, I always listen when people talk. So it's just like I always expect people to, always do the same or whatever. It's just common decency, common respect. And it's just like every time, for the most part, a lot of times when I do be talking with her, it's like to the point she just be looking off. Like she don't really look my way when I'm talking. She just be looking off, worried about something else that have nothing to do with our space or whatever. And it just like it kind of seemed like she's not really listening. That I'm just basically talking to be talking. And basically it's just like, yeah, I don't like that. That's very disrespectful. That's like super rude. And that makes me really just want us to stop talking and just like go somewhere else, just like walk away or whatever. And she always keep doing this motherfucking shit, but she get upset when I did the same shit as I was trying to test. Then she want to catch an attitude. I'm like, nah, baby, you as a whole motherfucking hypocrite. Like, you don't like shit to be done onto you, but you want to do it to other motherfucking people. Like, make that shit make the first sense. And it was just like that's not a thing that made me side eye, about her. It's like she just be dozing the fuck off. And I'm just like, and it just be like in the midst of us conversating, and she just over here worried about other people and in they other motherfucking areas and stuff like that, and just like tuning me out the shit that I gotta motherfucking say. And it was just like very one-sided.
Mind you, y'all. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Other than that, we had our cool moments or whatever, and it was actually one time she did break up with her boyfriend, and she actually told me one time, and I actually don't remember, but I remember, but I didn't remember that I actually told her that he wasn't good for her, and when I told her that, basically she just cut her boo off, just like that in a snap, and I'm like, oh wow, and basically they stopped vibing. So basically, she was talking with other dudes. She don't talk with other dudes or whatever, but it was this one particular dude that she was interested in. But it was kind of like he was giving her mixed signals. I don't want to give him a name. Carly's crush.
Actually, what I was meaning to say, basically, she did talk with other dudes. She talked with everybody. Like, she was a social butterfly. And it was just like, child, she just, is very open to everybody to always conversate and vibe with or whatever, too. And I talk with a lot of men, but it's like the advanced training students, basically like everybody, but it wasn't like a talk like she wanted to off the band type motherfucking shit. It was just very much platonic, but with her crush it was on a whole nother level type shit.
We gonna call him Carly's crush. So Carly's crush, he was advanced training dude, and he was good looking, whatever. Like, he was like, like, he had muscles, like, caramel skin, whatever. Like, he had waves on deck. But it was just like, basically, she was so head over heels with this motherfucker. And basically, it was just like, this is why she did repetitional, consistent loophole type of shit. Not even just with the calling, not with just the motherfucking venting. It was just like with this dude, with her crush. Every conversation was always about him at this point. Mind you, we have dope conversations. We talk about everything, but now it's just like he was always the top of the conversation. We could talk about everything else, but she always had to bring him in the conversation. And I'm over here looking like, okay, you like him, whatever. Like, if you like him, talk to him, whatever. Make it known that you wanna, see you're interested. And she like, oh no, because like, she's scared of rejection. This, that, and the third. I'm just like, well, sometimes you just gotta take that L, and if it doesn't work out, that's fine or whatever. That's okay. It's always room for more or whatever. But it was getting to a point. she just like she did not bring it to his attention. She talked with him like a little small talk, but he was giving her mixed signals that he was interested, but he was very prideful. Both of them was very prideful of trying to talk with one another, and now I'm over have to hear her. It was a loophole like back to back to back. Like she always brought this nigga up. Now it's getting worse to many of conversations that we having at this point. Every day, almost all day, I have to hear about this motherfucking man. It was getting to a point I wanted to go off on her like really bad. And I wanted to say, stop talking to me about this nigga. If you are interested, you better talk to his ass. Stop talking to me about him. And she's over here trying to talk to other people, and they give her the same advice that I give her. If you are interested, talk to him. If he's not showing no interest, if you're not putting in that action, move the fuck around. Because that misconfusion signals it's not going nowhere with this type of thing that y'all be having or whatever.
Another thing that I would also like to add is basically Carly had the I call it the Disney syndrome. Like, I'm gonna give y'all examples. It's just like in a lot of conversations that she just always wanted, and I get it, like she always like, ask me questions about what's the meaning of, why things happen the way it happened or whatever. But it was getting to a motherfucking point where it's like every second or every other motherfucking minute, she always keep on having to question certain things, like, why this happened, why that's happened, or, this, that, and third. And then when it comes to her crush or whatever, it's like she just had this fairy tale idea of basically, it's just like, I don't know how to really explain it, but I hope y'all catch my drift when I'm saying this. Like, it's to the point, like, she was just like, it felt like in La La Land, but it was just like, she overdid it. She really overdid her part. And it was just like, girl, like, you is just like too much. Like, she's just too much repetitiveness. It was too much of a loophole of her just consistently doing always the same fucking shit in different motherfucking ways. It was getting to the point, it was starting to become very irrational. Like, it was to the point I got a little, not even a little, I was starting to get like more irritated talking with her, because it was just like she was a broken record, just like really much like talking off a script or whatever, and she just worded differently. That's what's like certain, like a lot of moments, like a lot of conversations that basically I was getting irritated from as well. And also, she just kept asking everybody and their mamas, like, it's people that's in a relationship, is basically, how do you know if you found the one? And basically, it's just, this was, pertaining to her crush or whatever. And so she can listen to other people's points of view or whatever. And it's just like, everybody had a different, because I even heard the responses of when she was asking people. Everybody had their own responses, of course. Everybody has their own life. But it was kind of like, girl, like, he not making a move. And it's been months where she just kept on talking about, see y'all, this wasn't just no 2 days. This was like months upon months upon months that she kept on talking about this man. And this man never even flinched a motherfucking move to even talk. Because my thing is, if somebody wants you, they going to automatically come to you. Point blank fuck, period. They ain't about to give you mixed signals and all this motherfucking runarounds and obstacle courses. They gonna come directly to your ass. Point blank, period. So it was just like, she was just waiting for that moment. Like I say, the Disney syndrome, waiting for that perfect moment, that Disney moment, that romantic fairy tale moment. And it was just never coming up. It was never giving that at all. And she just did not want to accept reality. She didn't want to accept the truth. And that's the reason why she just kept on repeating herself, especially repeating him consistently on a motherfucking loop as well.
And it was getting to a point, it's becoming like very toxic. Like, it was getting to a point, like, I was really irritated always being around her. Like, it was one thing always being with each other, but it was kind of like, I always expected her crush to always be in these conversations. And it was kind of like, I just don't get it with people. I don't get it. It's like to the point, point, I get it at them times, but I just don't get it. It's like, looking at it now, it was very bizarre because I'm just like, it wasn't even just her that just be doing it. It just be a lot of people that be doing this shit. Like, it's like to the point, they be expecting a different outcome of the same advice you be. It's like, they be wording this shit different. And just like, you give them the same advice, and I guess their minds can process that advice, and they want to keep on retelling you over and over again. Because I don't like repetition. One thing, I'm a Gemini, I do not like repetition. I don't like people repeating themselves over and over again. That shit, it makes me enraged. It makes me want to snap the fuck off. That's like a no-no for me. It's okay to be sometimes, because sometimes it's okay to be repetitive. It happens. But when it gets to a point where it's consistent, like every day, all day, and I'm just like, if you're not coming to no resolution, if you're not putting in no action, shut the fuck up and stop talking to me about this motherfucking shit. Point blank, period. Point blank, motherfucking period. So eventually, at a certain point, I might get into that later, but basically, we're going to bring in, because mind you, this is all happening this is all happening in November and December and all this motherfucking shit before winter break or whatever. Because winter break, because Thanksgiving break, I did go home officially. They did send us home. They paid for our ride or whatever. But Christmas break, it was like a 2-week. Like, Thanksgiving was 1 week and Christmas was like a 2-week whatever. Or I think 3 weeks. I think like 3 weeks the whole time. Yeah, I think it was 3 weeks. Actually, it was actually 3 weeks. But before I went to break, one of the Jobcorps students from our location, she came over, and she was in the same trade as me, pharmacy tech. Okay, we're gonna call her Brooke. We're gonna call this girl Brooke or whatever. So with Brooke, she was cool. We didn't really converse being in the trade. We did have small talk, but she always was with my instructor, my pharmacy instructor, all the time, whatever. So basically, for the most part, we knew of each other, but we didn't know each other well, type of motherfucker, if that makes sense. So she came in the Job Corps, fast forward, and coincidentally, she was Carly's roommate. They put her into the apartment area where Carly was in. And basically, it's no red flag with that shit, but it's just like, when me and Greg came up in there, now it's occupied, but it's just like, I guess people was coming in and out. When it came to, it was a list, like, it had to go through order of who came before that person, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I get it. So basically, somebody graduated, her roommate graduated, and then basically, I guess Ebony, Carly, and Brooke now are in the same apartment. It was somebody else that was with them, but I forgot. I forgot all that shit. But basically, now Carly's taking Brooke under her wing or whatever, because they're roommates. They know of each other, but they didn't know each other well or whatever. So basically, they get to know each other even more or whatever. And then now it's just like, it's Carly, Brooke, and me. And now we are the Three Musketeers. But I didn't really rock with Brooke like that. Like, we had our differences. It was no shade. We just didn't see eye to eye, because she was actually younger than both of us, and it was just like, she had an immature type of mindset. Mature but immature, if that makes sense. So it's just like, basically, she always brought Brooke around everywhere we go or whatever. So it was just always the three of us type of motherfucking shit. I was okay with it, because Brooke brought in the peace, and now it's like to the point I don't have to be a lending ear when it comes to Carly's crush, and it's like, basically, she gonna have to endure her motherfucking shit as well. So I was actually okay with that motherfucking shit. So basically, we did kiki. Other than her crush or whatever, we vibe. It was always a vibe. It was always a kiki. It was always lit or whatever. So everything was cool or whatever. We go to class, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm keeping up with y'all. I didn't really fuck with class at all. It was getting to a point I was really questioning why I even came down here in the first place. Like, I really tried to, know what I'm saying, apply, but it did not resonate for me at all. What really kept me staying there was basically like, because Carly, she was barely interested in it, and then Brooke was now new and fresh. I feel like not a lot of people was really interested in the trade. We were just there just to be there, because it was actually being there, it was like, I can't explain it. It's just something about that place. It's just like, you try to have hope into putting it, like, really work your way to something, but I'm gonna get into that in a deeper note. It was kind of like having hope for something that just seemed so far away, that just seemed kind of like impossible, or, you know what I'm saying, sometimes it just don't resonate. I guess with me, it just didn't resonate. I should have, like, low key, but the experience, I appreciate the experience the whole motherfucking time. But this time, I'm really just there at this point. I'm really just there, just going with the flow of everything, whatever, trying to adjust and everything on the motherfucking story, whatever. So basically, me, Brooke, and Carly was always in class, always keying up in class or whatever. And now it's getting to a point or whatever. It was one time, y'all, where we got into our first argument. Because we didn't have really, like, bad arguments in the previous whatever. Like, it had, like, we had a little attitude, because I had an attitude one time where she did something, but it wasn't, like, nothing, like, major or whatever. And yeah, I can't really tell y'all the conversations that we had, because I don't even remember much of what the fuck we was talking about, but I did remember the big ass shit, whatever. So basically, Brooke and Carly was trying to talk to me about something. I guess Carly was trying to talk to me about us being roommates once we leave this Jobcorps, this advanced training, whatever. I guess that was the case, or it probably was another case. And basically, I did agree that, you know what I'm saying, we could be roommates or whatever once we leave or whatever. But it was kind of like, mind you, my communication was off or whatever. And I really felt like, I don't know why she brought Brooke into the situation. I guess Three Musketeers. It was one time she was trying to talk to me and basically, like, be on that, like, you gotta let me know if you're interested. You can't be giving me mixed signals that, you know what I'm saying, you don't want to be roommates with. I do want to be roommates, but it's kind of like she needed, this is another thing, she needed consistent reassurance. It was getting to a point, like, she was so clean leeching. She was leeching. She always needed a loophole of consistent reassurance because of her past traumas with her family. So it was just like, basically, if I tell you that I'm interested, nothing is gonna change from by the time I motherfucking say that to the next motherfucking day from here on out. It's kind of like every second I have to reassure to her at this point that I still want to be roommates. And basically, I was telling her, I'm like, I basically told her, I'm like, straight up, if I guess this is what we was talking about. I'm like, because this conversation did motherfucking happen. I'm not sure if this was this certain occasion that this happened, but basically I was letting her know, like, yes, I am interested, you know what I'm saying, but we gotta work our way up, or we gotta find jobs, we gotta do this, whatever, but it's a process, we gotta trust the process. And I felt like she tried to rush everything. So she was so desperate to rush it. I'm like, what is she rushing for? Like, let's go with the flow, whatever. So basically, we have our disagreements, we had our differences, whatever, and then one thing led to another, and we started to, like, really, like, you know what I'm saying, it's one thing to have your disagreements or whatever, but now it starts to become heated. I forgot what we was talking about, y'all, but it got really heated. And mind you, it was just me, her, Brooke, and basically some other dude, and we was in a keyboarding area, and nobody was in the room but us. And basically, not even the instructor at all. So one thing led to another. I remember, out of nowhere, she told me, like, I couldn't talk right. Mind you, backstory on me. Because, child, I went the fuck in. Like, I went the fuck And it's like it was a triggering moment for me because backstory of me, I had speech classes because they said I had a speech impediment, and I wasn't able to process the things that I really wanted to express, whatever. I don't think it really was a speech impediment. I just think like it was just the fact that my communication was really, like I keep saying, it wasn't up to par. So I had to take a lot of classes growing up. I already felt like it was for a different reason, but they try to use that excuse. So, and they try to say a disorder or whatever. And basically, so it was like a lot of times where I wasn't bullied for that, but I did remember my mom did tell me something really like disrespectful of the reason why I had to take speech classes in the first place. It was very rude. She really told me that basically I couldn't talk right. That's the reason why I'm taking these speech classes. And that was very and that was like a little kid. She told me like middle school. And that kind of like stuck with me to a certain extent. And when Carly told me that kind of re-triggered a wound. And that left me, it's to the point, like my response to her, I cussed, I screamed at her. Like I went enraged at her. Like it was to the point, I had a trauma response to the point, and she didn't know, but I went clean the fuck off on her. And to the point, she was triggered as well because she don't like people yelling at her. And we went back, it was so ugly. It was to the point, I forgot everything that I said. But I just told her, I'm like, why the fuck would you say that shit? Like, don't be motherfucking play with me. Like, to the point, like, I don't over here be. And to the point, she was sensitive about her crush or whatever for the most weirdest reason. I'm like, how you sensitive about something that you don't even know this motherfucker? And I'm like, you over here talking with a motherfucking nigga that basically don't even want your ass, don't even want to talk to your ass. Why are you still investing in this shit? This came out like word by me, y'all. And she's like, wow, really? And basically, I forget, she was saying her part. She was going off too. I screamed at the top of my motherfucking lungs at her to the point, it was so bad. It was really motherfucking bad. Like, I lost control. It was like to the point my emotions got the best of me at this time. I hold myself accountable because, you know what I'm saying, it was a learning experience for me. I was in the wrong for even just like, it could have been handled differently. It really could have been handled differently. But it happened. And, you know, I later apologized after that. We stopped arguing at a certain point. And it was to a point, she did tell me, like, you need some therapy. Like, I was enraged. It was, like, to the point, like, child, I think the teachers heard me. Like, it was to the point, I went berserk. Like, I didn't put my hands on her. I didn't really get to that point. But it was to the point, like, I really blacked out. And I had to realize at the last second that, you know what I'm saying, I didn't mean for this to happen, but, you know what I'm saying, my deepest apologies. And basically, we stopped talking after that. Like, it was like dead silent after that. Like, we went our separate ways after that for a little bit. But I was just like, damn. I'm looking back, I'm like, damn. Like, I just guess it was just something. But it was just like, other than that, we later, put our differences to the side. I did later apologize again. And, you know what I'm saying, we was cool after that. We was still cool after that. So, it's like fast forward after that, that whole debacle. And mind you, we over here kikiing. We over here, like, still having the vibe after that. She's still bringing up her crush or whatever, but it's not as frequent anymore after, you know what I'm saying, I told her about herself, especially about her crush or whatever. So basically, now Christmas break, winter break or whatever, we went home, and we did take the same bus. We took a Greyhound back, and like, it was to a point like she expected me to do things for her like I was her nigga. Little soft things at first, but it was kind of to the point I had to do so many things for her. Like, when we left the Amtrak, when they dropped us off at a certain spot, on Roosevelt.
I said that all fucking wrong, child. What I meant was literally, we did not take no damn Amtrak. I'm screaming. We took the Greyhound, and the Greyhound dropped us off at the main location, which is on 95th and Dan Ryan in Chicago. If you know, you know. And basically, when we was getting our luggage, because I was getting my luggage first because it was close by to me, and she was waiting for her luggage or whatever on the side of the bus. And when I got my luggage, she was expecting me to get her luggage for her. And I'm over looking like, if you ask for me to help you, then I'm going to help, most definitely. But it was kind of like she was entitled, expecting me to get it for her by her facial expressions. And I'm over looking like, girl, I was really looking at her. I'm like, girl, who the fuck you taking me as? I'm not your fucking nigga. Get the shit your damn motherfucking self. And if you need help, just ask that. But don't feel like you're entitled for me to get this shit for you. You got me highly fucked. Point blank, period. And that's was like, what I'm saying? I did help her, put her luggage and stuff like that into the car with when her sister picked her up. But I just found that to be an absolute, like, in your face red fucking flag. Like, girl, you got, no.
Basically, she expected me to get her things for her. I'm like, girl, you got two motherfucking arms, you got two hands. Get the shit your damn self. Like, who the fuck you think I am? Mind you, this is my pre-transition, but I'm not your nigga. And it explains why she keep on consistently calling me on a loophole, venting to me like I'm a fucking therapist and just doing certain things. I'm like, child, like, she understands, she's aware of me and the fact that at this time I'm interested in men, but it's kind of like you're treating me like I have to fill in the roles of being your nigga. And I'm like, baby, you got me high fucking confused and fucked up. And it was just like, other than that, we were still cool or whatever. We still kicking on winter break or whatever. We conversing or whatever. All of this. And mind you, on a side note from all of this shit, we did have our very deep conversation. It was no trauma bonding, but we was deep into our conversations. Like, we be having those very tremendously powerful conversations. It was just like talking about the world and just talking about people and just talking about just like different things. Cause we could talk about everything, but it was kind of like we was like really talking. Like, it was to the point like we was like really in sync with a lot of conversations we was talking about or whatever. And it was like that it really increased our bond. Aside from the toxicity and the red flags and the bullshit ass crush, it was just like we was really tight knit, like to the point like when I love somebody again, I love them like crazy. I love them down. Like, I protect them. I hold them motherfucking down, boots or whatever. So it was kind of like if somebody talks to her a certain type of way, I just instantly rip their ass apart. I just go the fuck in like motherfucking crazy. And it's just like, basically, I always was protecting of her, like, automatically. But I'm starting to peep as well, on a side note, that same energy do not be reciprocated. And that be happening with a lot of my relationships. Not all of my relationships, not all, but it's just like some. I be expecting myself and other people, but I have to understand that people are their own people. And they are not going to be what you expect them to be. So it was like little scenarios where she don't go, like, she expect me to go in for her, but she don't do the same for me. And it was like one time where basically it was this one of the advanced training students. It was like lunchtime, whatever. And mind you, like he was like fine looking, like he was black, but he was fine. But it was just like, it was one time where he was trying to project onto me because he was a Bible type of dude, Christian dude. And mind you, all the dudes, they always sat in it's like everybody had their cliques, but everybody didn't have their cliques. It was a lot of narcissism that was very rampant around this motherfucking thing, especially with the men or whatever, especially with the images that they like to portray or whatever. So it was one time he was trying to read scriptures, and mind you, Carly wasn't in the thing. She was not in the lunchroom. It was just me and somebody else. And he was trying to bring up homosexuality. Mind you, just my transition. Try to say it's a sin. He's saying other scriptures too, but he made it really bold with this homosexuality. He looked at me, and it was just like, now he's quoting the scriptures while looking at me, trying to get my attention to let me know in microaggression and subliminal, basically me and my sexuality, how much it's a sin and all this motherfucking shit. So I left the motherfucking building and I basically called him a hoe. I could have said more, but my communication. So I left, and basically later he did. I think he got a Mr. C did escort us into his office, and I let his ass have it. I went off on that motherfucker. And I'm over here looking like, child, you don't have no right to judge. Child, you ain't shit or whatever. And I let his ass have it up in that motherfucker office. And other people heard me because my voice, it echoed for some reason through the walls, whatever. People can hear what I'm saying, whatever. I ripped his ass a new pair. I left that motherfucking office and I went about my motherfucking day. But
so basically, in that lunchroom, he was basically trying to project, and it was like his other friends, the other students, they was you know what I'm saying, wording out the scriptures as well. I'm like, the gag is all the motherfuckers was gay as hell, child, and the whole time I wouldn't be surprised. And it's like the point, I know for a fact whole time that they be fucking each other up in them advanced training motherfucker apartment rooms, child, because they was some butt buddies, if y'all know what the fuck I mean. So it was just like, when I left that lunch room and stuff like that, I basically called him a hoe. I could have said extra more, but I didn't really give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. So, but you know, so we did have a sit down with Mr. C. That's when I basically read his ass. I read his ass for filth up in that motherfucking room, and then I escorted myself out. And that was the last time I ever had like a conversation with old boy or whatever.
Carly was on campus. She was not in the building. She was actually at the main campus. She did get word and she did confront him. Mind you, she's a Christian girl. She grew up being Christian, whatever. Always knowing the fucking Bible, whatever, all this. So she told me what happened when she confronted him. But it wasn't like on no energy that I would give when somebody is trying to come at her, whatever.
I want to add this shit too. So basically, when it comes to this, you know, defending each other or whatever, I just felt like whole time she was finding reasons to get into it with people. Let me break it down for y'all. So basically, cause she always be on Facebook a lot, and basically, we do add a lot of Jobcorps people, especially the previous Jobcorps, and basically, I mind my business. I should be doing me, whatever. But it just seemed like she always want to be nosy into things and always want to put her 2 cents in everything. And you know what I'm saying? When people want to put their 2 cents in, that's their business. But it becomes an issue when now you always are getting into it with people. Like, it was like on social media and in person. And it was just like she always expected me to always Captain Save-A-Ho her ass, which I always do. And it was just like, I'm over here getting into people on social media. It was kind of like consistent. It wasn't like really horrible. It was kind of like once every other time. She always telling me someone always getting into it with her. And when I be reading the messages, it don't even need it to be going in that direction, but she be taking it there. And I'm just like, girl, like, why do you keep on always insisting or always seek for trouble? It wasn't given that in the first motherfucking place. So it was just like, you was always seeking for something to always, you know what I'm saying, always find reasonings to always get into it with somebody. And when it came to other motherfucking people, like 10 out of 10, the reason why she always get into it, because she always be nosy other people's motherfucking business. And it was just like, to the point, if she minded her business, she wouldn't have to keep on arguing, keep on getting into it with motherfucking people. And it's like, here comes me, you know what I'm saying, always defending her, always being in her aid. But when the tables turn, she barely even motherfucking be there for me. She barely motherfucking defend me now on social media. When I was getting to it with people that she basically got into it with, now she want to defend me. But in person, she silent as a church mouse. Barely saying anything. So I'm like, yeah, that's my motherfucking point. When basically, when the tables turn, when, you know what I'm saying, someone always try to come at me, then basically she barely there, but she always expect people to always defend her own motherfucking spot. Make this shit make the fuck sense.
But it was so cute because all the girls from advanced training, it's kind of like when we went back on campus, all the girls of advanced training came to me and they was sympathizing with me, and they was like really much being there for me, and they was just saying like, you know what I'm saying, I'm sorry that, you know, he had to experience that or whatever, like that's not cool, whatever. It was really cool, whatever, because mind you, not a lot of girls was in the lunchroom as well, and then mind you, the cafeteria lady I'm cool with as fuck. She was cool as fuck. She even confronted me. She was like, why do you even tell me that he said that? Like, I could have got his motherfucker ass in trouble. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, whatever. So all the girls was really much on my side with this shit. And, you know, I appreciate all that motherfucking shit. And basically, and other than that, everything was cool for the most part. You have the same red flags that I did mention, but it was just like getting to a point like, it was like Carly knew how to switch it up or whatever. She knew how to basically do certain things. But another note I do want to add, I did have a grudge against her when it came to the money aspect, because she, like I think I said it, but I kind of went to a whole different type of topic or situation. But it was one time in the beginning, she did ask to borrow money. And because I'm so big on this, I was so big on that motherfucking shit. Like, if you're gonna borrow something, you're gonna have to give it back, especially when you have the money to give it back to me. So basically, she did give it back in return or whatever in the beginning, but it was getting to a point like she was asking for so much but not giving back nothing in return, which came to my point where she really thought at a point I was her nigga, whatever, that I had to do everything for her, that she didn't have to do much. Like, she started to feel entitled. And my communication off. So it was to a point, it led me to have a grudge, because I'm very sensitive at this time. So it's just like, you're asking for so much money, you're not giving nothing back. But when you do get the money, you don't. And I expect somebody to automatically know, but a lot of times you gotta bring it to their attention. And she did say she was gonna give it back to me, but she never did at a certain point. She kinda stopped doing it. And it was to a point like she kept borrowing, she kept asking. I'm like, no, I don't got it. Because you're not gonna give it back to me, whatever. Well, by period, that's just how it goes. Because when I ask for money or whatever, either she don't have it, or when she do have it, she'll do give it to me, and I'll give it back. I always give it back for the most part. And it's just like, basically, it's no balance with this shit. And that just led me to look at her as a certain type of way with that shit. Like a little mini side eye, but it's not bad or whatever. But I'm gonna leave it at this note for the part one of this motherfucking shit. Y'all already got a brief synopsis of who Carly is, what she does, whatever, how she get down, whatever. And basically, I'm going to end up with part two, because this is all happening before winter break. Now, after winter break, that was saying something with that shit, because that was some juicy ass shit. Like, when I tell you, Jobcorps was really cute at this motherfucking time, this advanced training shit. But coming back after winter break, it was a whole nother fucking ball game. Oh my fucking God. So, you know what I'm saying, I appreciate y'all for watching, you know what I'm saying, I thank y'all, because I already said I'm mouth motherfucking full of every motherfucking thing to the point. Y'all already know. Y'all already should motherfucking know about this shit. So, you know what I'm saying, thank y'all, you know what I'm saying, I wish y'all abundance, prosperity, and everything in motherfucking store in your lives on here on out. I love y'all unconditionally. I appreciate y'all unconditionally. And I'll catch y'all on the flip side. I'll talk to y'all later. Love y'all. Mwah.